Hey everyone, welcome to Snarf-Talk with Chris.
And Jerry.
And this is our podcast where we give you a behind-the-scenes look as we create a comic book.
We're going to talk about TV, movies, comic books, and hopefully have a lot of guests, other writers, creators, and friends.
Check us out at snarfcomics.com. You can check out our blog and follow along with everything we got going on. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at snarfcomics. And please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes.
Enjoy the episode.
Hey!
Another Snarf Talk in the house.
In the video house.
In the video live house.
It's a whole new world.
It is completely new for us. This is something we've wanted to do for a while, and we talked about it recently.
Yeah.
In a previous podcast, and now we have it going.
It's pretty exciting. I could do amazing things like, say, Jerry Snyder, co-host,
Hey.
writer, prowler.
Prowler?
What does that mean?
What does it even mean?
So,
That's fun.
We have this nifty, whoops, screwed that up. We have this nifty little program that allows us to record multi-camera
It is.
video. We didn't have like all the time in the world to set up every camera angle and really direct this beast.
But
I think we've
we'll get it. I mean, this is the very first time we're trying it,
Yeah.
and I think this software, or this app rather, I think it'd be really good.
yeah. So
Because it's something we've never done before.
we'll be going. I gotta like edit on the fly with my left hand
Okay.
on this. Yeah,
left
I know.
hand.
And I'm righty, so I'm doing my left hand here, doing my on the fly editing.
I wish producer Michael Sheedy was here tonight.
Yeah, and Michael didn't make it.
He
tonight.
didn't make it. He's got strep throat.
Yeah. Oh,
It's the worst.
he partied
Especially
a little too hard.
It's the worst
wedding
when you
this
get
weekend.
it in July.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
I got my right hand running the laptop
For what?
for my news.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say.
And
We'll get it.
We'll get it.
So the big thing here is, what was I going to talk about? Oh, like on YouTube, if you are going to watch the YouTube episodes, which I hope everybody does, you need to hit the like button, obviously, and subscribe. But if you give us a thumbs up, that helps the YouTube algorithm and like push us to your front page.
Really?
Yes. And if you click the bell in YouTube, it'll give you like a little notification.
Ring that
I believe
bell.
that's what it's called. It'll give you a notification and let you know that we've recorded an episode, like whenever we put it on YouTube Live.
Like that song. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. I don't know. It's a song.
You're trying to sing Silver Bells.
No. Well, I was actually, but there's a song called
I
Ring the
absolutely
Bell.
don't.
I don't know.
I don't think that's a real thing.
Okay, we're just doing some camera adjusting here.
Could
All
have
right.
easily done all of that before we recorded.
All right. Sorry.
Just saying.
It's a brave new frontier here.
It is. But
All
yeah,
right.
so but honestly, if you click the thumbs up, and subscribe first, but if you click the thumbs up, that'll push us forward in your feed and put us on your front page. So
Yeah.
Thanks. Let's try that.
Do that.
Yes. This is new for us. But other than that, what do you got, Chris? I mean, where you been?
I have been all around the world, Jerry.
Really? It seems like you've been busy lately.
I have been a little bit busy.
And it's summertime.
I know.
This is rare to be this busy at July.
Is it summer
30th.
yet? It's just barely
Yes,
summer.
yes, it's summer.
For,
It's
for
going
us
to be
here.
August. Like August
I know.
1st.
That's insanity. Insanity.
You know what happens in August?
The solstice.
Nope.
Equinox.
No. School starts.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Kids' school starts. I'm going to have 2 children in school this year.
That's crazy.
I don't know if I'm prepared for it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be cheaper for me.
Yeah, I would
So
be
we-
prepared
We
because
registered both of them tonight for school, and it's when you hear about like what school costs right now for in grade school for our Mazan school district, and we put like $50 in their lunch accounts. So it would be $100 cheaper than that technically.
Right.
If you're just registering them without putting any money in their lunch accounts, it's super cheap. It's like literally like 1 week of babysitting.
It's like $100.
It's like $230 for 2 kids.
Yeah, but you pay property taxes.
Oh, right. And that I'm never going to get away with that, even if I had no children.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. But to register for school was relatively cheap.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. And they do that. I don't know if you did it, but they do a thing where you can buy your school supplies.
Oh.
Like pre-made for you.
Okay.
It's a box, and they just give them to you.
We got a bunch of school supplies in a bag, like in a backpack.
Yeah. Well, in a backpack. No, this is in a box.
Okay. Well, Cash got a backpack, an actual backpack.
Did you go to the races the other night?
Yeah.
That's why. You got it at the back. You got it at the races.
What are you talking about?
Did you go to the races Friday night? Last Friday night?
What races?
In Morris, the Grundy County
No.
races. Oh, because they were doing that. They were giving school supplies away in backpacks.
Oh, no. We got a backpack at the school full of school supplies. They just gave it to us. And I don't think I purchased those.
Oh.
I don't know where they came from. In fact, he got them, and I'm like, I shouldn't be getting these. Why are they just giving me?
I wonder if it's part of that. It's a not for profit. It's like a charity.
But why are they
that people
charitably giving? I can afford the school supplies. It seems like a huge waste of money for that charity.
I'm not sure.
That doesn't make any sense.
They give them away to anybody that wants them.
Oh, well.
Because you could have went to the races on Friday and went and picked them up and done the same thing, but we were going to go, couldn't get a babysitter because Graham can't go to the races. It's way too loud. But we didn't end up going, and that's why we were going to go, is like get extra school supplies just because they give them away to anybody. You donate. Like I donated the last time I went when Grant won a bike. We got drawn for a bike and he won a brand new bike, and I donated $10, which then went to the backpacks.
It probably covered the cost of that bike.
$10 covered the cost of the backpack full of supplies.
Take, Jerry.
No, you don't even have to give anything.
Take.
You are the worst human to me. You know, I feel attacked constantly.
No, it's fine. If you want to give $10 and take from a charity all the school supplies and a brand new bike.
I didn't get any of the school supplies. I donated $10, which was one of those backpacks, which was the one Cash took for no reason.
So that one bike cost 20 kids school supplies.
You're welcome for that backpack that I donated for you.
All right. Fine. No, nothing else is going on. I don't remember. When's the last time we recorded this podcast?
A week ago.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
1 week ago. It doesn't. It feels a lot longer.
It does. Yeah.
I was thinking that tonight on the way over here. I was like, man, I'm so excited to record. I haven't recorded in so long. And then I thought about it. I was like, it was last Tuesday. Like, not a big deal.
Yeah. No.
It will be a little bit of a gap. We're going out to Iowa.
You're just like nonstop traveling going on.
That's not true.
At the Snyder house.
That is true.
You were just
the last 3 weeks.
You've been gone a lot. Where are you going to Iowa for?
Amy's aunts live out there. Both 2 of her aunts.
Okay.
One of them lives in northern Iowa. The other one lives in southern Iowa. So we're going to northern Iowa for like 3 days, and then southern Iowa for 3 days, and then coming back.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, just because.
So that's why you're going to miss the next week's podcast.
Right.
Okay.
Because we're going to leave Monday morning and then not come back until like Saturday.
Okay. Well, we'll record a double episode sometime.
Yeah, we'll have to. So this week.
Yeah.
We'll record every day this week.
Perfect.
So that way we don't have to record again for like 5 weeks.
Nice.
That'd be incredible. But it wouldn't be, actually, because I like recording a lot. You don't?
No, I love it.
I mean, you didn't say anything there.
I love it.
Made me scared.
This video is screwing with my dynamic here a little bit.
Why?
I don't know. It's going to take some getting used to.
All right. Well, people are watching you.
People at home.
People are watching you cry about it.
Awkwardness that you're experiencing.
Being such a baby tonight. He's been a baby about this all night long.
It's been a long day.
Well, don't bring your long day to the podcast, okay? The podcast didn't do anything to you.
Well, let's talk about some news.
I've got a bunch of it.
Awesome.
So
I'm excited.
They're just real quick. This is kind of a quick one just because I saw it. I saw it on Reddit once, and then our favorite, Jason Inman, he's on the podcast. episode 12, we interviewed him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that.
I remember that.
He
Just real quick before you finish the story. Based on the shadow from your microphone and your shirt, it looks like you're just sweating.
I'm not sweating at all. I'm completely dry.
I think it's hilarious.
It doesn't look funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we need better lighting. I brought a light too.
Jeez. He's
Could've
got
set it
studio lighting.
It's just a round light that came with that tripod.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Jason Inman.
He also posted the picture that I saw on Reddit and talked about it. But there was a guy that went to San Diego Comic-Con that cosplayed. It was, what is it? Captain America. I don't know why I forgot that. But it was Captain Native America. And he was like in a Native American dress.
Yeah.
But it was like Captain America attire. I don't know how to explain it. You've got to look him up.
Seems offensive.
It's not. It's a Native American man, so it's not offensive whatsoever. It's Captain Native America, and he looks absolutely amazing. It's one of the greatest cosplays I've ever seen. So much so that I'm actually talking about it, and I don't really usually care about cosplay.
Yeah, I'm not a huge cosplay.
No,
I mean it's cool.
It's cool. It
to
is
see it
normally.
occasionally, but
this guy, man, he hit it out of the park with that, with what he did. I thought it was really neat.
yeah, the shield's like a dream catcher.
Yeah. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
what do you mean it's okay? I think it's so. I think it's
right.
such an original idea
yeah,
and done really well. You're such a jerk. You're doing that on purpose.
no, I'm not. It's just
So, did you know that they're making a new Charlie's Angels?
no, I did not.
They are. Like Kristen Stewart's in it, and
Kristen Stewart.
and she's the only one that I really remember from it.
I'm Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, she
That
is.
one?
Yes, that one.
Just a forlorn looking in the distance.
Honestly, it looked kind of neat.
Really?
Yeah, I liked the trailer for
Who's
it.
the?
There's a trailer that's out, and it looks really cool. There's
Who's like the main guy? Like Charlie. Who's Charlie?
Elizabeth Banks is one of those people. She's not Charlie. She's another one. What was that?
Oh, I bet you she's like directing and producing it. She's like a big director and producer now.
Yeah, I know she is, but she's also in it, and she was a person in there. She was really cool. Bosley. So she's Bosley, but then I don't know. It's all these 4 girls. They're different ethnicities, and there's one girl that they pick up out of nowhere because she's good at something. Guns, I think.
Just real specific there.
Yeah. But I don't know. The trailer looked really good. I was actually really intrigued by it, and I think it looks
like,
a lot better
made
than
to be a comedy?
like an action comedy, I guess.
Like the last cinematic?
I don't think it's as comedic as the last few.
I'm just not a huge
It reminds me more of a
fan.
like an Ocean's 13 or Ocean's 12 type movie.
Oh, I hope it's like the Oceans movie that had all the women in it. That was by far the best Oceans movie.
We can see your sarcasm because it was not.
Which Oceans movie was that?
8.
33.
No, Ocean's 8.
It was actually Ocean's 8, wasn't it?
Yeah, they went backwards.
Oh my god.
I don't know why.
Oh, they went backwards. Yeah.
Well,
Ocean's
because they went
13.
Well, there was Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13.
And then Ocean's 8?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm telling you, that's what they did.
Well, I tell you what.
I tell you what.
I actually saw a really funny meme the other day, and it had a picture of Hank Hill drinking a White Claw, and it said like, white women be like, I tell you what about the claw or something like that. I don't know. That's a terrible.
Really? It's a really killer job. Really killer job you did there with that meme.
I'm going to fix that. I'm going to fix it. Guys, I'm going to fix it.
It's like,
that was
like, yeah, there was this one guy. He was like, I tell you what. And that's that meme. So
the law is the claw. It's something about the law is the claw.
there's a whole video of this guy that drinks White Claws, and he's at like a party. I don't know. It just follows him around, and he's drinking White Claws and talks about how great he is.
It says like, I tell you what, the law is the claw, or something like that.
So it's it's Foghorn Leghorn drinking a White Claw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sounds
I
great.
do declare
Yeah,
the law
Is
is the claw.
that's awful.
That was a pretty good Foghorn.
No, it was
Leghorn.
really good, actually. The thing that bothers me about Foghorn Leghorn is that he's way bigger than an actual Leghorn chicken. Because I was looking at Leghorn. It turns out I have chickens. I don't know
Yeah,
if you know
he's
this.
like 6 foot tall.
Well, right. Well, that's a
That's
problem.
like the first you're figuring out.
But Leghorns are a small chicken. They're
Yeah.
really small. They lay a lot of eggs. Turns out they're like one of the best egg layers.
But he was a rooster.
Speaking of egg laying,
Oh my gosh.
got
It's the excitement.
got our first egg
Oh.
Sunday evening.
Did you cook it?
And then I did. I ate it.
Raw?
No.
In front of him? Did you just crack it?
No. But then we didn't get one Monday night. And wait, no. We got one Saturday night. And then didn't get one Sunday night. Got one Monday night. So I've gotten 2 eggs so far. They're really small.
Why are they small?
Because they're super young chickens. They're obviously old enough now to start laying. One of them is, because it's only one chicken that's laying at the moment. But it's small because she's young.
Okay.
That's why. I'm assuming.
I would have cracked that egg raw into my mouth right in front of that chicken.
That's
just
weird.
rubbed it in its face.
Why would you do that? I already took it from him. Isn't that bad enough?
I don't know. Is it?
No, they don't care. She got up and left it, so it doesn't really matter. When they get broody, that's when it can be
that's
an
the
issue.
problem.
When they're broody, that means they want to sit on their eggs. I don't know why I wiggled because I'm assuming that's what they do when they sit on their eggs.
You were on camera when you did that.
Right.
Jerry Snyder, co-host, writer,
Getting all broody.
prowler. If I could edit on the fly, which I can, but I can't with my left hand, I would have added wiggler.
Prowler, wiggler.
Jello jiggler.
So anyway, when they get broody and you take the eggs from them, that's when they get a little distraught and worked up. So they make fake eggs that you can give them to sit on.
Come on, people. We don't
Yeah.
need to give fake eggs to chickens.
Well, apparently they think you need to. Some people think you need to. I don't care. I'm going to take their eggs regardless. I'll probably hatch some eggs next year. Maybe the year after. I don't know. It's up in the air. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have enough time.
I don't know.
No.
This whole chicken farming thing, it just exhausts me just even thinking about it.
I love it. It
Too
has
much work.
No, it's not. There's
Yeah.
no work to it besides getting the coop set up and building the pen and having all of them eat.
Killing the minks,
Trying to kill minks and getting feed.
collecting eggs,
Talking to my dad about getting more chickens. and
cooking
then
eggs.
building boxes to try to catch the mink.
Yeah, you gotta get a goat.
I don't need a goat.
protect the
There's
chickens.
no need for a goat.
And to make cheese to go with the eggs.
Well, that's true. That would be good. You ever had goat cheese?
I eat goat cheese.
So good.
It's like the only kind of cheese I eat.
Really?
I eat goat cheese on
Are you
everything.
that rich? Like
It's
that's
not,
how
but-
rich you are?
Yeah.
Like the only cheese you'll eat is the most expensive cheese ever. Goat cheese. That's your nickname now.
Yeah, I put goat cheese on everything.
That's why
I brush my teeth with that shit.
I somehow broke this pen.
I better show it to everybody.
Nope, fixed it. Fixed it before you even knew.
But yeah, no, we get goat cheese all the time. It's a revolving door in our house between goat cheese and blue cheese, one or the other.
Really, you're a
Yeah.
blue cheese connoisseur now.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I love blue.
Isn't blue cheese made from buffaloes?
No, I think it's regular cheese just added with mold. You just put a bunch of blue mold in it.
I don't think so.
They like have these syringes and they just inject blue mold.
There is something to do with buffalo, and I don't know what it
There's
is.
buffalo mozzarella.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, you can make
Mozzarella comes from buffaloes.
yes.
Most like real
Yes,
mozzarella.
Real mozzarella will come from like a
So
Cape buffalo. I
Blue
believe.
cheese can come from any kind of milk, probably because I have a neighbor that farms sheep, and they make
Yeah.
cheese, and they make blue cheese all the time. I don't
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But you have to age it a certain way to get like
Yeah,
the mold.
they have a cheese cellar.
Who is this? I didn't know this.
I mean, I'm not gonna throw them out there on a multi-million person podcast.
That's true. We are multi-million now.
This is the kind of cheese
I tell you
operation.
what. I tell you
I
what.
tell you what. the law is the claw, Jerry.
But we've also blown up a little bit over the week.
Is that
I wouldn't call it blowing up, but
is that what's happening?
I don't know. We've added a lot more listeners this week.
I don't know what happened, but it like tripled like overnight.
Yeah, it did. There's a lot of people that started listening all of a sudden, and then
thank you.
Absolutely thank you. Like, I think that's amazing. I think every bit of it is amazing.
Nobody watches our YouTube videos, so maybe that will change.
But now they're going to, because
but
they're
our
going to be
YouTube
able to see us.
videos before were just our recorded audio.
Right, with the Snarf-Talk.
It's not nobody, but we'd get like 8.
Yeah, I was just looking at one of the 31 had 3.
Yeah, right.
And then there was one that
granted, 31's only been on there for like 2 days.
Right, and then I was looking at
2 of them are probably me.
Yeah, most likely. And then the third one was me.
Yeah,
so that's our listenership on YouTube.
Yay, YouTube.
Yeah, it'll skyrocket now that they can actually see us.
YouTube.com/Snarf-Comics. Will it? Because they still got to know about it.
Hey, can you put that up on the screen so people can see?
Yeah. I absolutely can. Right there.
YouTube.com.
It actually just says @Snarf-Comics with the YouTube sign, so I should probably have changed that. But it is, in fact, youtube.com/Snarf-Comics. And you can do our whole playlist. Every episode is up on, not every episode, starting at like episode 10.
Right. It is starting at 10.
You didn't have all the recorded audio in there for me to convert.
That's not true. All of it has been up for a long time, from 1 to 35.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Next news.
Next. Oh, by the way, while we're on this subject, because I can pop them up on the screen, Instagram @Snarf-Comics. That's our most active platform.
Yeah. Instagram and Facebook are basically linked to the same account.
They're the same thing. Facebook.com/Snarf-Comics.
But Instagram's the jam.
And we also have Twitter @Snarf-Comics, which I've been trying to use a little more often.
Have you?
I've been trying to get more into Twitter, and I've noticed one thing about Twitter.
Okay.
It's an awful place for the dregs of humanity.
Yes, it really is.
It's terrible.
Everything about Twitter is not good. Like, anything you see on Twitter is just usually bad.
It's just people fighting and people with crazy political opinions yelling at each other.
So political.
That's all it is. It's basically just a political platform.
That's all it is. And
if you guys are doing like your politics stuff, and you're tweeting the politics,
come on, man.
You're not in a good way.
No. You've got a problem.
Figure something else out.
Get off heroin. Because you're on heroin.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do not like about Twitter as well is that there's a different like style of posting to Twitter than there is Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Like, Instagram and Facebook are linked, but it will not take that post to Twitter. You have to style a post just for Twitter to be able to put it up and people actually see it. Huh. Otherwise, it'll post it as a link. Have you ever noticed that?
Yes. Oh, yeah, totally.
Anything we put up.
So, yeah, we were always putting stuff on there like through the Instagram app.
Right.
But it's garbage because it's a link.
It's a link to Twitter. Or if you get on Twitter, there's a link to Instagram.
Which nobody clicks on.
No, nobody would. I wouldn't.
Right.
I look at it and I don't want to click on that because I think it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Come on, Twitter. Update your stuff and allow that to be at least a visible, like, photo link. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm guessing they want people to not shortcutting their
use their platform. And I think that's just another
bad mistake.
Never mind. I was going to say something political, and I'm going to just stay away from it.
What?
I was going to say that's just another left-wing thing to get us, but I'm not.
I mean,
that was a joke, guys.
We're not political.
No.
Nope.
The whole thing, the reason I said left-wing, and I'll explain it now, because I feel like I have to explain it.
I'm just going to put Jerry up with his name for you to email. There you go.
Thank you. The whole reason I'm going to explain it, so it was on Joe Rogan, and they interviewed the president of Twitter.
Yeah,
like
CEO.
CEO and president of, like, media or whatever. I don't know what it is. But all those people from Twitter, they interviewed them about how political the website is and how they take sides.
Right.
And that was the interview. I'm not going to say which sides are taken where.
Oh, it's pretty left-wing leaning Twitter. There's no doubt about it.
It's very. And they were just talking about like how they will promote certain posts and then take down others and why that's happening. And I feel like they were caught in a pretty epic scandal of all sorts.
Yeah.
But
my thing has always been, and I think I said it once on this podcast, my little bit of politics.
Mm-hmm.
If you're left-wing,
mm-hmm.
you're an idiot. If you're right-wing, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
If you believe everything that the Republicans say, you're an idiot. If you believe everything that the Democrats say, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I agree with that. You got to have your own mind and then blend the two.
Yeah, you got to blend it. You got to come up with your own ideas.
I've said it for a long time that you can't have... You cannot be one-sided because that means at some point you're pushing the truth off as irrelevant, and that's not the case.
Yeah, irrelevant.
Yes. I'm not going there.
The thing is, like, if you do that, what you're saying to the world and to yourself is that I know that I'm right.
Yeah, in every sense of the word.
And nobody is right about anything.
No.
Because everything that we think is simple is super complex. And there is no right and there is no wrong. And
it's okay to be wrong. And I think that's a big thing that everybody attacks the person that's wrong. It's okay to be wrong. But you also have to accept the fact that you're wrong.
Well, right. But just because you think somebody's wrong doesn't mean that you're right.
No, but
it's usually more complicated than that.
That's true.
It's shades of gray. There's got to be a song in there somewhere.
Shades of Grey?
Yeah.
Is a song.
I was thinking David Gray. He sings that song bad.
No, there's a song called Shades of Grey.
What is it?
I'm going to look it up, and I can't remember who sings it now, but it's really good. It's an oldie.
An oldie, but a goodie?
Yeah. It's an oldie. Shades of Grey.
I don't know how we got on this topic.
I'm pretty sure it's Shades of Grey by the Monkees. That's not the one I was thinking of, though.
Hey, hey, we're the monkeys.
Yeah,
people say we monkey around.
I'm not going to play it, but
we're too busy singing
to put anybody
down.
Yeah, get it.
Hey, hey, we're the monkeys. People say
go ahead.
What was I watching the other day? It was like a short YouTube video, and it was like every dad ever, and it was a video of a dad driving. Yeah,
father.
And
what's the thing? Wait, husband, dad, veteran, prowler.
There you go. But it just said every dad ever, and it was a video of a dad driving a car. And it was Phil Collins in the Air of the Night. It's like,
oh my gosh! And it had to have.
And and he's just like sitting there, and then the drum part at the beginning.
Yeah.
He does that.
Of course,
every dad ever.
The best,
but
commercial.
Every person ever, really. That's not a dad thing.
You're right, but I don't think. I think it's more of a dad thing than anybody else. I don't think you can find like a 16-year-old right now that would do that.
Can you feel coming in the air of the night?
Oh, Lord.
I've been with you something my life.
Oh, Lord.
Hold on.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Next.
All right, we can get into some news now.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm going to. So another trailer came out recently.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Was that all a discussion of a Charlie's Angels trailer?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Another
now
trailer.
I feel like I'm getting back in the podcast vibe. The video it's not
good.
Throwing me off so much anymore.
Hey, another trailer came out for Zombieland.
Oh yeah, Zombieland 2.
Double Tap. That's what they're calling it. Nothing really stands out about the trailer other than it looks like the exact same thing. They're a little bit older. They're, going around killing zombies, doing whatever they're doing. The one thing that stood out to me, Woody Harrelson is driving a combine running over zombies
Yes.
at one point.
I saw that.
It's right at the end, and he's got an old school combine, and he's running over zombies with a small grain platform, or bean head, as most of us call it, but it's a small grain platform.
Is it a
Yeah.
small grain platform?
Yeah. That's what they're called.
I always call it a bean platform or a bean head.
No, small grain. Anyway,
I flipped my hat around.
he's running over
'Cause it was-
zombies with
This
a
thing on the top was hurting my head.
he's running over zombies with a combine, Chris.
I know. It's exciting.
It's so cool.
It is
I think
cool.
it's so cool.
You know what? I'm a huge fan of the first movie. Big fan.
Oh,
Big time fan.
I am
You
too.
know, my favorite part of that trailer was the very beginning when they
Okay.
go, because obviously it's a ridiculous movie.
yeah.
It's a comedy about killing zombies.
The ridiculous part about it is that there's also like 4 Oscar
That's what I'm talking about.
award-winning.
The beginning of the thing is like Woody Harrelson, Oscar, Academy Award nominee.
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg, Academy Award winner. Emma Stone, Academy Award winner. And who's the other one? Abigail Breslin.
Abigail Breslin.
Academy Award winner.
Winner.
And then there was somebody else. There was like 5. Is there 5 people? No. 4.
Because but what's his name is back in it too.
Who?
The old guy. Everybody loves him.
Bill Murray?
Bill Murray.
He's not an Academy Award winner, is he?
I'm sure he's a nominee.
He
of some
must.
sort.
Lost in Translation?
I don't know. Now I feel like I have to look that up.
Did Bill Murray win an Academy Award? I think he did. Anyway. No, I don't think he did.
He was considered the favorite to win the Academy Award,
Oh.
but
when-
Sean Penn won.
Fucking Sean Penn.
Yeah, Sean Penn. What?
I don't-
Did it? Was it Milk? Did Milk win?
He did. He did win for Milk.
I know he did.
What was his character's name in Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Who?
Sean Penn's.
I don't know. You're asking the wrong
I love
dude.
that movie.
You do?
You don't like that movie?
It's all right.
Oh,
It's
come on. It's a
fine.
classic.
I don't feel like looking through Wikipedia to find out when I just read that, because there was a little snippet on Google, and I don't. Either way, I don't know.
Spicoli.
Oh yeah, duh, I knew that.
There was that whole weird thing about him going to Mexico to try like an interview El Chapo.
He did.
Yeah.
He talked to El Chapo.
Weird.
Or is it Chapo?
El Chapo.
El Chapo.
El Chapo.
Ethnic chelada.
That's
I can't do it.
Eth-
I just
Chelada.
today I was told how that is pronounced.
It's pronounced chelada.
Well, I mean,
Chelata.
but it was with an actual it was like a good
Yeah.
accent. A guy I work with, he
So-
has the accent.
Chelada. Mm-hmm. How did he say it?
It's something like that.
Okay.
I can't say it. I'm not capable.
You
of
gotta
doing
say chelada, and then
It
you
was
gotta
like-
follow it up with.
It was like it was like with Modelo in it too, but it was like mochelada.
Oh,
It was
no,
like
no. That's a
michelada.
that's a different word, which means the same thing. That's the actual word.
Okay, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, it's not really called chelada. It's called like michelada.
Oh, there you go.
Michelada.
Michelada.
Yeah.
Michelada.
Like if you go to a Mexican restaurant, you're gonna order michelada.
Right. Donde está michelada?
The best michelada recipe.
Well, either way, Bill
I'm
Murray
fluent in
didn't win.
Espanol.
Bill Murray didn't win an Academy Award, and Zombieland looks decent.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I'll see it. Of course, I'll see it.
Yeah,
And
100%. I'll see it. 100%, bro.
And I'm not going to be negative about it. I've seen some negative vibes on the internet. About
Why?
it. Because people are an endless cesspool of misery and hatred, Jerry.
I don't understand why you can be negative about Zombieland. It's meant to be ridiculous, and it is.
I think...
but it's also good. It's a fun popcorn flick.
I
Whatever.
was reading a Sony executive the other day that was talking about a movie that they had made that didn't do well recently. And I can't remember exactly what the movie was. But it was one that was like a big bust, kind of a letdown movie.
Okay.
And he was talking about...
John Carter.
No, it wasn't John Carter or something else. They were saying, is there a chance that there could be a sequel? Because it wasn't like it was a bad received movie. It just didn't do well in the box office. And he's like, yeah, I mean, Zombieland just did terrible in the theaters. I mean, absolutely horrible.
Did it really?
Yeah, I guess it bombed, is what he said.
I didn't know that.
And that's what they said in this article. And then now, what, 20 years later, it's getting a sequel.
Zombieland was not 20 years ago. That would have been 99.
Okay. I mean, if you want to pick apart the details.
I do, because it was not even close to 20 years ago.
10 years ago, sorry.
It was like 2012. Had to have been.
Zombieland.
2012. That's my guess.
2009. So 10 years ago. So 10 years later, it gets a sequel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he was saying. Like, you never know. It only got a sequel because it found a home as like a cult classic movie.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how can you blame somebody for getting a cult following because of zombies? Like, they played off a trope.
Right.
That was very apparent at the time. I mean, Walking Dead came out same time, right?
Is Walking Dead been out for that long?
Yes. It absolutely has. At least since 2010.
Well, in any case, what they were saying is you never know what could happen.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep,
you got more news?
True. Yeah. So this one's a little. Oh wait, no. Before I get to this heavy one, there's one that's a little bit heavy that I want to talk about and get your opinion on. But there's also another one there's the new Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh yeah.
What's that called?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. So it went 41 million over the weekend.
Is that opening weekend?
Opening weekend, 3 days. So they counted 3 days.
That's probably below projection.
No, it's like 2 million over projection.
Oh, really?
And it's the highest grossing opening weekend of Quentin Tarantino's career.
Is it really?
Yes.
Huh. I wouldn't have guessed that. Because like Pulp Fiction went over 100 million. Total.
But total domestic, it did. And they're assuming that total domestic of this movie will be well over 150 million.
Okay. Because
the original projection for this was like 38 million. And it went 41. So that's good. That means like it's at like 2.5% over projection, which means that like Leo and all of these people get 2.5% more money off the total domestic cost. So they're going to get like a ton more money now because of that. But apparently it's doing really well, and I really want to see it. I haven't seen it yet. Kevin Smith's kid, Harley Quinn, she's in it. I don't know what kind of role she plays. It was a really big deal. I think this is funny. I don't know why I think this is so funny. They were like obsessed with this movie poster that came out, and Harley was on it. Mm-hmm. And Kevin Smith put it all over Facebook. And I love Kevin Smith to death. I love everything he does. But I think it's really funny that you put up, like, my kid's on this poster, and she's one of the little tiny people in the background. Like, that's like a shadow.
I could not see her on that poster.
I was zooming in, and I'm like, where is she at? And then Snarf Comics follows her on Instagram, and she posted the poster again, and she like put a circle around herself just like last week. And I zoomed in, and I was like, okay, that could possibly be you, I think. It looks like a shadowy figure that resembles your stance. Like, I don't know. But I just thought it was really funny that, like, my kid's on this big poster, I think, somewhere in the shadows.
I mean, if my kid was on a Quentin Tarantino poster.
100% the same thing. You're right. I would do that. That's fine. Yeah. I just think it's funny. Because she was, like, literally on a poster of a movie he made. And he literally never put anything out about that.
Not like a real movie.
Yoga Hosers.
Yoga Hosers.
If you haven't seen Yoga Hosers, go see it.
Really?
I like it. We went and saw it together.
Yeah. I mean, it's not terrible.
It's not Tusk.
It's better than Tusk, I think.
Yeah.
Did we see that in the theaters? Where did we go see Yoga Hosers?
We saw Yoga Hosers together, but we didn't see Tusk together.
Yeah, I mean, I love Kevin Smith movies. I'm obsessed with Kevin Smith, but
we're going to see his next
film. Yeah,
film.
we're going to see, which looks like it's a better movie.
Much better. The trailer that he put out at Comic-Con looks very good.
I think it looks cool.
It's a Jay and Silent Bob reboot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, now on to the heavy stuff, Chris. We've got a discussion here.
Oh boy.
I want to have a discussion about it anyways, because I think this is a big deal in today's society.
Okay.
I really do. So do you remember the overly attached girlfriend?
Yes.
The meme, like that girl.
I was just talking about a meme earlier when I was setting up the camera. I kept saying, Irma Gerd.
Yeah, you did. That's Amy's favorite one.
Gershberm.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one, too.
Is it?
Oh, my God. I love
That's
that one.
100% Amy's favorite meme. But this one isn't funny.
Oh. Serious
Stop it.
faces, guys.
Yeah. I can't do it. But anyway, overly attached girlfriend had apparently a pretty good YouTube presence. Like she was big on YouTube.
She ran with it.
I wasn't aware of it. I didn't follow any of her stuff on YouTube, but she
was in on the joke.
She was, but she also made a lot of other videos
that
were funny and different things. Like, I don't know. She had like some videos that were just her acting with herself. She had videos acting with other people. She had videos of just overly attached girlfriend stuff. She had a pretty big following. She has like 4 or 5 million subscribers to her YouTube channel. Pretty big deal. Well, apparently, like, she didn't post for like a year, from like 2017 to 2018. She didn't post anything. And then in 2018, she had a couple posts. And then it's been another year. And now in 2019, she had one more post. And she put it out as like her very last YouTube video that she's doing. And the reason was for mental health reasons. So if I ended up watching the video because it was all over Reddit. And I'm big on Reddit. So I watched the whole video. It's like 11 or 12 minutes long. And she starts talking about like what she was going through this entire time. So her meme blew up because of Reddit, and like her world was turned upside down basically because she was like instantly somewhat famous and she didn't really understand why. And then she started this YouTube career and immediately got like 1 million subscribers and 1 million fans, and people wanted more. And she didn't know what she was doing. And so in this video, she starts showing videos that she took of herself for private use only, basically. She's like, I never thought anybody would see these videos, but I feel like you need to see them right now to understand why I'm going to quit this YouTube to begin with. And it was all because she was so incredibly stressed out and depressed and anxious and worked up about what to do. Like she's like, I don't have a clue on what I'm doing. She's like, I don't know what kind of video I need to put out. She's like, I don't know how I need to act. I don't know how I need to do any of this stuff. She's like, but I know I have to have a video out at this time for this day. And people want to see this. Like, they expect it from me, and I don't know what I'm doing. And then she's like, I don't know, like, I'm getting money from this stuff, and I don't know what to do with that. And I don't know what to do with this. Like, she had no clue, but she was so overwhelmed and worked up about it that it caused, like, a huge amount of depression and anxiety that she was dealing with. And so I watched it. I felt really bad for her. But then she finally got better. She got some medication. She didn't want to take medication. Then she talked about that, and she went off on a whole tangent about like taking care of yourself. And the thing that I think of is like, do you think that this platform, like we love to podcast, it's not a stress, that's not a stressful thing for us. This YouTube, like, this is our very first ever YouTube video right here.
Right. At least video one. We've had audio ones, but yeah.
Yeah, the video.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is going to create a ton of stress. If it does, we're not going to do it.
Or viewers.
Yeah, it's not we're not going to be on the million scale.
Right.
Regardless. I'm just saying, in today's day and age, the way YouTube is, the way the culture is on social media, do you think it's the depression and anxiety is caused by YouTube and social media to begin with? Like, it immediately causes that feeling, that problem?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
So in her situation, what do you think caused her depression and anxiety?
Um, that is not to say that I don't necessarily think it's not significantly exacerbated by
Right.
those things, but
Right.
those things in and of themselves are just platforms for which people can put out content. So,
But I don't feel like she thought of it that way. She was thinking of like she had put out one video of this overly attached girlfriend.
Right.
One video. And blew up into a meme. And then overnight she was expected to have more of that.
but she didn't have to.
She didn't, but she felt the need to. She wanted to follow that.
She felt the need to, but she didn't have to. And she could have
You're
been
right.
not known at all. But she probably initially wanted the fame or wanted the money or wanted the opportunity or felt like that she needed to take advantage of the opportunity.
But do you think it's human nature to want that acceptance? Don't you? I mean, if you get a huge mass amount of people saying like, this is hilarious, I want to see more of that. I mean, I feel like I would be like, all right, well, I can give you more of that.
Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, I think it is human nature to want to be accepted and want to be popular.
Yeah.
And want to be relevant. Yeah. So in that way, yes. And that's part of what I'm trying to get at here. Those things are human nature, and social media in certain situations can exacerbate those feelings and make them more relevant than they would be in a world that didn't include social media.
Yeah.
So, and also, like, looking at everybody, the problem with social media, right? Here's the main thing is everybody's only putting the best stuff out there about themselves, about their life.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, and a lot of it's fake too. So on top of that, so they're carefully curating what they want to show the world. And the things that they show the world are the positive things. So when you, for example, are putting pictures of your family having a wonderful time and everything being great, and me, I'm sitting here, which also have those same experiences with my family. But when I look at your Facebook,
yeah, you could
that's
feel
all I
differently
see.
about it. Yeah.
So you think, well, why is my life not like that? That's the problem with Facebook. People are always measuring themselves up to a standard that other people are putting forward, which is a fake standard.
Right.
And
that,
and those
that's what I'm
people aren't
saying,
necessarily doing it on purpose, although it's not like it's done on purpose, but it's not conscious. You know
Right.
what I mean? You want to put forward the best stuff. You want to.
So
you don't want to put on there,
that's so. I was reading some of the comments and whatnot, and they were talking about like happiness, and she talked a lot about it in the video about like all I wanted to do is to create more content to make people happy, and I felt like that was what's going to make me happy. And a person put a quote on from Don Draper from Mad Men, main character Mad Men, and it says, "What is happiness? It's a moment before you need more happiness."
Well, that's exactly right, and I've said that a lot.
Isn't that incredible?
Well, I mean, here's the reality of the thing is, there is no happiness because once you attain a certain level,
You want more of that.
well, it's not even
But you
that.
can't
It's like
even
you
get there.
can't have that. You
no.
have to find a way to be happy in good moments and bad moments, in the whole expanse of moments.
Yeah.
Because if you're always chasing that next level of happiness, then once you get there, where do you go from there?
Right.
You got to keep going. And that's basically what that quote's saying.
And that's kind of what I wanted to get at is like, I understand her position, and I do feel like YouTube and social media are causing a certain like portion of people's anxiety and depression in today's day and age. Because you've got to think about,
Yeah, I believe that's true. I'm just saying, like, I don't know that those feelings didn't exist before social media.
No, absolutely.
And I just,
100%
maybe they're
they did.
exacerbating them more. One thing is, like, I think people have a fundamental misunderstanding of what anxiety is.
Probably.
As a clinical term. Like, it's very commonplace nowadays to hear people say, I have anxiety. I have problems with anxiety.
Almost everyone.
And it's not true.
Almost everyone says that,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
people are saying that it's true for them, and it's not, because people that really seriously suffer from anxiety, it's a debilitating
Yeah, it's like a crippling
disease,
thing, yeah.
crippling. So you have stress, and
Sure.
it makes you feel better to constantly tell people that you have anxiety. Is essentially what's happening, because
I agree with that, because I do feel like that's been a crutch for people. I feel like it's been not necessarily a crutch, but some sort of a release to say, like, I'm acting this way because of anxiety.
yeah,
Or I can put something off because of anxiety.
people are endlessly searching for ways to justify the things that they do. And
Yeah.
that's often a way that they can justify it. Not just that, but lots of different ways. I mean, people are going to do what they want to do, and they need
Right.
to find a way to justify that to themselves and others. So
Yeah.
they find those ways.
And to a point, I felt like I wanted to be negative against this girl.
No, I wouldn't, because
I felt like it at first, because I that's the way I thought. That's the way I thought, was like, you know what? Like, come on. You're telling me you've got anxiety over a YouTube channel. You know, like, there's a bigger picture here. But then she started talking more and more about her life and other things that were happening, and then she started showing the videos that she was taking just for herself, and what she was going through. And then she had abruptly moved with a boyfriend that she had never talked about before, and then she realized, like, I've been hiding this whole person out of my life from a channel, and, like, she's like, who am I really? Because I've got this life of staring in front of a camera, and then I do a completely other thing on the outside, but everybody wants me to be this, you know, overly attached girlfriend. Like, that's all they want me to be. And she just felt like it got too much.
yeah,
And
that's reasonable. Completely reasonable.
100%. I find it so great, and, like, I can admire her as a person, saying, like, I'm done with this. Like, this
Enough.
is good.
Yeah.
Like, I think I feel like I can do something else in my life now, and I could go on with this and not have to be this person. Like, I'm done. I respect that, and I think it's really good that she's doing it, especially for yourself. When you're talking about, like, how screwed up you are because of what you've been doing with this stupid channel. Like,
I mean, it sounds like she just
it
isn't what she wanted to be doing in the first place, and then
No, exactly.
she had some success, and she's stressed out about. It's hard to create content. It's hard.
Super hard.
It's super stressful, and it's hard to be creative.
Yeah.
And
It's hard to be new.
And it's hard to be inventive and new, and
you can be as creative as you want to be, but if it's the same as someone else has done, you're irrelevant.
you know
it
what
doesn't matter.
the most successful creative people are out there are the people that don't self-criticize too much.
Yeah.
They create something,
So hard to do.
they put it out there, and they move on.
Yeah.
And it just sounds like she wasn't really able to do that.
No, she wasn't at all. And it shows in early videos that she had posted. It shows that. But I don't know. I wanted to bring it up as an issue that I feel like it really is an issue with the younger generation right now. Like, I feel like YouTube and social media and everything that's going on, and podcasts. I don't really feel like podcasts is in the mix, but it is a social media and internet thing.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like internet things are taking over the way people think and the way people feel and the way people go about their daily lives. They're tailoring it around a certain internet thing.
Right.
And it causes a lot of issues.
It's just another evolution in human thought and behavior.
Sure.
And every generation, there's something new technology that changes things and changes the way people interact. And we're babies with the internet. We're just, we don't know anything about it yet.
No, I know.
We don't know what it's going to do to us as a species.
But my thing that bothers me is that everyone hinges so much worth on the internet.
For now.
That's what
in the snapshot of a millisecond that it's existed.
Yeah, but
you know
that's what I mean.
But,
like, people have, like, clung onto this thing because they've seen somebody be successful at it. And if you can have success at something, you want to try to do the same thing. And it's overtaken people's lives.
Well, I mean, it's a problem. I just read an article the other day that said no longer, they did a survey of a bunch of kids, and not one of them said they wanted to be an astronaut. But the number one thing that kids wanted to be was a YouTuber.
Yeah. That's, hey, smash that like button.
And that's not even something that I ever thought about even wanting to do, to be honest. I mean, first of all, YouTuber wasn't really a thing until a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's been very, very, very new.
So we definitely didn't grow up with that. No. You know what I mean? Even though YouTube's been around for a decade or so, but
2006, maybe?
Something like that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's good and it's bad.
Yeah.
It's what you do with it. I mean,
I just thought the only reason I bring it up is because she was like very apparent to me at the time, and it was a pretty serious issue she's talking about, which, you know, mental health as a whole is a serious topic, but she had a, you know, more extreme case than other people. I just thought it was something to touch on, because I do think that the whole social media and internet world is creating that in people.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not good.
It's creating, there is a problem. There is a problem, but the problem is that we haven't existed with it long enough to figure it out.
I agree with
we
you.
will evolve with the technology, and it will change us, and we will change it. And you can already see.
There's two things here, though, too, is that one comes to parenting. And this sounds like an old man thing.
No.
I feel old saying this, but there are parents out there that want to be successful in YouTube too, and they think that they can capitalize off their kids doing that.
Yeah.
And they have. But there's also the other aspect of that, is where you don't parent your children whatsoever, and you just throw an iPad in front of them.
I've done it
forever. We do it.
Guilty.
We all do it. But not to the
it.
extent that some people are doing it. Some people are doing it to an extent to where they're like, you're going to base your life off of this screen, because this is the only thing I'm going to give you, because it keeps you quiet.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely need to get better about it, because I can definitely notice a visible change in behavior in my children when they're adjacent to an iPad.
Yeah, I agree.
And
it makes them
so
different.
Apparent
that
it's disturbing. And the fact that you notice that change happen within them, and you still will let them use it occasionally.
I know you do.
And we limit. I mean, we try to limit the usage, but you can't. I mean, it's pretty unrealistic to make it zero.
Once you give it to them, it's unrealistic to make it zero. But man, Amy's got the hammer, man. She's good at it.
Good.
She is so good at hammering down on these kids and taking it away. I feel like I am too, but I'm not as good as Amy. She throws it down, man. And they don't like it, but it is what it is. And it's fun to watch just like that unfold. Like, well, try to get it back from your mom. See what happens.
Right. No, we're trying to limit screen time in general to like 2 hours a day max.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what we're kind of trying to do.
Which is good.
A work in progress. A work in progress. I'm not really including TV in that screen time.
Yeah. That's either way. That's good.
I mean, like iPads, basically.
Yeah. And
less for the younger. I mean, that would be for a 6-year-old.
It's
zero
weird.
for.
It's weird to say, but don't you feel like iPads are worse than regular TV? Even though regular TV is the exact same thing, it's just further away from you.
It is definitely worse. It's not the same thing.
It's so more immersive, and
I can't tell you why, but I'm telling you, it is not the same thing.
It's not, though. But
they don't react the same way. They don't have the same reactions.
Yeah.
You can tell when you hand a kid an iPad, they're like body chemistry changes.
I agree with you.
It's crazy.
And it causes a lot of issues between my two oldest.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They fight about it all the time. They fight over them, even though they have their own individual iPads.
The thing that kind of worries, or I think about, is, but a lot of times, like, Cash is playing a video game on there. And, like, I used to play video games. Like, he doesn't just sit there and watch YouTube. Like, recently he's been playing Plants vs. Zombies.
Okay.
And it's a fun game. And it's kind of, you got to think. You know what I mean? It's a strategy game. And do I really not let him play Plants vs. Zombies? Right. I mean, what's the big, you know what I mean? But, and that's not what he's getting obsessed about. It's YouTube which causes the obsession.
It really
We really
does.
just need to delete the YouTube app off the freaking iPads.
We did.
Everything else would be fine if YouTube wasn't on there.
So we only have YouTube Kids.
Yeah. But that's what I'm talking about. YouTube Kids.
And it is something that we have deleted before and put only PBS Kids on there. And PBS Kids has a lot of good shows on there.
Yeah.
But they don't have the ridiculous
I mean, it's different.
It is completely different, and it
Hobby
only
Kids
has shows.
TV.
It only has shows on there that are relatively educational, and it's wild to me. But I'm done with that topic now.
New topic.
This
is a dynamic.
I don't
podcast,
have. Is it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, why not?
I don't know.
I thought
I got a bunch of what we're watching, a lot. So we should probably not.
That's what I think I was getting into because I didn't really have any.
You don't have any more news?
No, not anything to really talk about. No. You can start if you'd like.
What I'm watching, I have a bunch. I will start with. I know we always talk about it. Swamp Thing.
So okay, a guy. He was just on the podcast last week. Tim. You guys have already heard it.
Yeah.
But Tim was on the podcast last week, and he just texted me the other day, and he said, he's like, after listening to so many episodes, he's like, I finally found an overarching theme to this podcast.
What's that?
And I said, huh. He's like, do you know it? And I said, I don't know if I know it or not. He's like, what is it? And he said, Swamp Thing. And I said, I just started laughing. I said, yeah. I said, it is. I said, at the core, it is, because that's what we've talked about bringing us together in comic books in general was right. Swamp Thing. But I also told him, I said, the reason we talk about it so much right now isn't just because of the comic book, but it's because the TV show's out.
Yeah.
But
we talked about the comic a lot even before the TV show came out.
We did, but we probably won't as much now.
Probably not.
I mean, after the TV show. And
other
we
wouldn't. Other than I'm reading it actively.
But. Yeah, as am I. And I've got a couple that I've continued to read, and I was talking about on last podcast. But I don't feel like it'll be continuing the same way as it has, because once this show's over with, it won't be in our what you're watching anymore, because it's over. It's only freaking one season.
More episode.
No, there's one more episode, but I'm just saying it's right. One season. It's over. Like, we don't have
as far
any
as
more
we know to this point. Yes.
It's ridiculous. So I don't feel like it'll be an overarching theme once we get into 2020.
Right. No. But that being said, I watched the latest episode, which is episode 9. Have you seen it?
I have seen the first 10 minutes of the anatomy lesson.
Oh, well, that's what I wanted to talk about. I came here to talk about it.
Sorry, I didn't finish it, and I meant to finish it.
That's a real issue, because this is what I wanted to talk about.
You can talk about it. That's fine. I'm still going to watch it.
All right. So they have episode 9, and I knew it was building up to this because you could tell from that previous episode.
It had to have been.
So they did this episode, The Anatomy Lesson, which is based off of issue 21 of the Saga of Swamp Thing. It's the second book in Alan Moore run. It's probably one of the more famous books. More or less, it's kind of like the retelling of the origin of Swamp Thing to a very general.
And Swamp Thing isn't even really apparent in the story. He's laying there, but it's a story about the Floronic Man.
Yeah, basically, and it's an interesting book because it's basically still images and poetic wording that don't necessarily correlate 100%, but it also does build like a certain element of visual suspense and literary suspense.
And it's about a
but
man,
with no real overarching consequence. I mean,
there's no conflict really to this besides what's his name?
It reminds
Sunderland and the Floronic Man, like Jason Woodrow. Like the only conflict is between those two people in figuring out what he needs to do for Sunderland. Like you need to provide a service to me right now, and I want this. Like,
Yeah.
I've got a couple other things to do. I'll be back. You better have this done. But then it dives deep into a man that's like so obsessed with his profession and what he is, because he knows what he is, and he wants to figure out how this happens. And he is obsessed with the anatomy of it and the science of it.
And the great thing about this is it sets up the next couple issues in the run.
Yeah.
That you couldn't get the depth of those issues without this particular issue giving you his obsession.
And I feel like it's written the way it's written because this guy has such a love for what he's doing. Like, the only way he can speak about it is in that like poetic sense of saying like this is. It
kind of reminds me of like The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Where it's telling a story, but literally and visually.
I like that. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that. In any case, so it was a big deal. I mean, it was clearly a big deal to attempt this via the television show.
Visually, yeah.
And I mean, I was hoping that you had seen it because I wanted to talk about it more.
And once I saw the name, I was like, I have to watch this. I have to watch this. And I fell asleep last night after I watched episode 8. And I tried to watch some of it today, and it didn't work out.
Okay.
So.
Well,
go for it. I'm going to watch it anyway. I don't care. You're not going to spoil it.
Okay. No, I'm not going to spoil it because there's nothing to spoil. I mean, it's different completely than the book.
It is.
And
because I remember...
Not completely, but...
The one part I remember is that Avery does come to Jason Woodrow, and he's like, listen, I need you to do whatever you need to do. He's like, I got a couple other... He literally says, I have a couple other things to do, but when I come back, I want to know what is inside this guy.
Yeah.
And that's from the book. He basically says that in the book.
I mean, in my perspective, it's the biggest letdown of the series, and it completely misses the mark at adapting that work to the screen. And they throw in a bunch of non-relevant, useless shit in there.
Yeah.
And other storylines.
To try to make it exciting.
And they can't... I mean, there's all kinds of different stuff that wasn't in the comic, which we knew because the comic is not the same as the show. But if you're going to attempt this...
You got to do it.
You got to do it justice, and they didn't do it. They missed the mark completely.
Even if they would have named it something different, I would probably...
They should have. They should have named it something different. Because for them, they should have named it something different and let fans be okay with the small little homages.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, this is what this is, because it completely misses the mark. It's a huge letdown. Almost enough that it really almost infuriates me.
Yeah. Wow. What is it that infuriates you? Just the fact that they didn't go from the source material? And
they didn't go from the source material. The effects of him doing the actual autopsy are not great. Swamp Thing's awake through the autopsy, which is not
the way it is.
The way it is, and weird.
Well, so the last part I saw is where he like turns a valve on a tank, and he's like, let's warm you up a little bit for this.
Yeah.
And that's all he says. And I thought I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but it didn't.
I mean, some of the raw concepts are there, about, there's, I won't spoil it too much. I mean, obviously the raw concepts are there because Swamp Thing understands the implications of the autopsy.
Right.
I mean, and you'll understand what that means.
Yeah.
So that makes, that is what they were going for in the show. That was the drama. And that's the drama in the book, too.
It is. It's because he's not a man anymore.
Right. So I don't know what the point of all that was when there was only one more episode. Obviously, it's a huge waste of time when there's only one episode left. So it was disappointing, and the show, for me, is become pretty disappointing in the incessant need to follow these irrelevant storylines.
Yeah, I don't know why they need to add. I don't feel like you need to add to these books.
And then the other thing that drives me crazy is being a reader of the comic, knowing the small little things that they're setting up constantly that are never going to get paid off now.
None of them will.
They did some stuff with Matt Cable.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, wasn't that in a different episode?
No, that was in episode 9. Oh, there's something that happens with him.
I didn't know that.
That sets up a huge storyline in the comic.
Oh, wow.
Which will never get paid off. So,
it's aggravating.
It's aggravating. And, of course I'll finish watching the series, but
yeah.
They had a shot.
Missed it.
They missed it.
That sucks.
Missed it by this much.
I felt like they were doing a good thing in the beginning, and I love, I love the way Swamp Thing looks, but yeah, it's really sad that they just try to change the source material when there's no need to do that.
Right.
There's no need to add to this source material. There's so much story there. They've got so much story there in all of these books. You can just follow that. I mean, you can adapt it to the screen, but...
Let's just do it animated.
Me and you?
No, I mean, DC should do that animated. Yeah. Call it the Saga of Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
And do Alan Moore's entire run animated.
They could do that.
Done. That's what needs to happen.
And it'd be over. Yeah, that would be good. I think that would be really good. I do like live action stuff, and I think they've done a good job of depicting Swamp Thing in live action, but they just scratch the surface.
It's season 1. Season 1 of things always kind of sucks a little bit.
Yeah.
So that show could have went on for great things, and maybe it'll get brought back. I can't see there being the fans clamoring for that to happen because they really have made kind of a mediocre show.
Yeah. But don't you think that's because they were told that they were getting cut from 13 to 10? And
no, it would be... The issues go deeper than that.
They were going to have 3 more episodes.
The issues go deeper than that.
Yeah, you're right, but they were also building things for other seasons.
Correct, but you got to play your hand.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? You might only get one shot at it. You got to play your hand. Yeah. And it's too much Abby Arcane.
Way too much.
It's
way
just,
too much.
And too much Avery Sunderland. I mean, it's just too much of that stuff.
I agree.
And, there were some interesting concepts there. I mean, do you even consider that on the same level as Doom Patrol?
No. I don't.
Doom Patrol was a vastly superior show.
Yes, but you know what I feel like is better than that?
What's that?
It's vastly superior than Doom Patrol.
What's that?
Me, myself. It's something I've been watching.
A new one. Oh, we're going to the next one, folks.
Next one. We're done with Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Gosh, I don't know if I want to talk about this right now.
Well, you've already...
all right, I've already teased it. It's the new show that dropped on July 26th, which was last Friday, on Amazon, and it's called The Boys.
Yes, sir.
It is... I don't know if I was expecting that. I was not expecting a show like
I
this.
knew that there was a show coming, and we've talked about it. I had no idea it was coming this quickly. I don't know how I missed that.
I didn't guess. I didn't realize it was coming that quickly either. And I knew it was about superheroes.
Yeah.
And I knew it was based off of a comic book.
Correct.
What I should have done is look into the comic book.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Well, we kind of talked about it. You read like a synopsis of it.
I did, but I didn't really get into the book.
Yeah.
I did know the basis of the story and what it was about, but I never really got into the book. I never read it. I should have. Either way, I don't think it hurt anything with the actual show, but once I started watching it, boy, did it grab my attention real quick.
Yeah, it's did you finish it?
Oh yeah.
I finished it as well.
Yes, sir.
So we can have a full review.
It's a full
of The Boys
spoiler
on Amazon.
review.
I think there's 8 or 10 episodes.
8 episodes.
8 episodes.
They're all right at about an hour long.
Yeah, and they're a long show.
Literally 1 hour on the dot. Yeah. The final episode was an hour and 6 minutes. There was a couple beforehand that were like 53, 55 minutes, but you might as well just assume 1 hour of content.
Yeah. Yeah. And Amazon is on top of their game, folks.
Holy crap.
I mean, I'm not just talking about The Boys.
Holy crap, are they?
Jack Ryan. I'm talking about
there's another season of that
and that's coming soon too. But we can specifically talk about The Boys because it was shocking. It is hard R, man.
Yes.
There are moments of the show which are tough to watch.
Yes. That's what I wanted to bring up.
Very tough to watch.
There are some parts in this that were
disturbing
and not in a gory.
No.
It's like in a very uncomfortable.
Like a psychologically uncomfortable way.
Yeah. That's a perfect way to explain it. Like there's a situation with, there's the superheroes. There's Homelander. He's the main superhero. He's the guy in charge. He's like the Superman.
He's Superman. This is a ripoff of the Justice League.
Yes, it is.
There's
100%.
There's your Superman character. There's your Wonder Woman character. There's your Flash character.
Aquaman.
Wonder Woman is
Queen Maeve.
Aquaman is called the Deep, which is a great name.
Yeah.
There is
A-Train,
which is the Flash.
Yep.
And there is Translucent, which they don't really have.
No, it's like he's like an invisible
character, and then they have Starlight, who is kind of an original character as well. So it's a superhero team, but in what would be in the real world, like where it's a corporatized,
very political.
They're not only superheroes, but they're movie stars, and they're
super famous.
They're brands.
Honestly,
and they would be in real life.
That's what I was going to get at, is like, this is so real, because in real life, if we were living with a superhero on a day-to-day basis, they would be so famous.
Right.
If they're going to be saving everyone's lives, and you can see a guy in real time fly around and stop a missile or help people on a plane or do whatever, yes, they're going to be super famous and people want to see them, and they'll make movies of them, and they'll make TV shows of them, and whatever. But I did love the aspect of making it so corporate, making it a business out of these superheroes, and
the politics that goes with that. And like the whole idea is,
and like the sickness behind this business.
And the whole idea is like, bending political will to get the superheroes into the military, for example, and just to make superheroes relevant. Yeah,
like the whole idea of the company called Vought that owns these.
We should say
basically
right now, there's mild spoilers ahead, or spoilers.
Yeah,
spoilers ahead.
There will be spoilers of this show. Like we're gonna spoil.
I don't think it's like a show with such huge shock value that spoilers are necessarily a huge deal, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean,
it follows a progression that you kind of see coming as it goes. I mean, there's nothing.
You do. I don't
shocking.
really feel like you could spoil the storyline of the season, the overall, the overall arching like story arc of the season, but some of the graphic stuff can just spoil it for you, because I feel like it is shocking to see firsthand. Like Homelander. So Homelander is the superhero, or is the Superman guy, right? There is something unsettling with his dynamic with the lady that runs Vought, or like runs the day-to-day operations.
They have a weird
she's not a superhero. She's just the person that runs the day-to-day operations of Vought and the superhero relations and stuff on what they're doing. And their relationship and the dynamic between them on screen is so weird.
Yeah. It's like an Oedipus complex.
Yeah.
Like a psychosexual mother-son relationship.
Yes.
It's weird.
You don't know if it is like a mother-son thing, and then you don't know if they're like sexually involved with each other, and then you don't know.
And there's this weird jealousy he has towards a baby.
Yeah, right, because she has a baby, and he doesn't like the baby because it's getting the attention from her.
Yeah, he clearly just desires her attention.
And then at one point, he like lays on her lap, and she undoes her shirt and puts her fingers in his mouth.
Yeah, like he's breastfeeding.
To act like he's breastfeeding, like pushes his face up against her breast, puts her fingers in his mouth, and then he like sucks on her fingers to act like he's breastfeeding. It is like that part. I was like, what the hell?
But then there's also something incredibly unsettling about seeing what that kind of power could do.
Right.
And watching him just shred people alive with this laser vision.
So that's the other dynamic here, is that these superheroes really aren't good people.
They're not good
at all. They're not saving people's lives on purpose because they want to, and
they're really not even saving people at all.
At all. No, they're
really just brands.
They're doing things to promote the brand,
right.
And that's what Starlight has to like try to overcome. Like, she's coming in there thinking that she's going to go out there and save people's lives, when really they just want her brand.
Yeah,
and they want her to promote the brand, and they don't want you to really save anyone.
Yeah, this show was produced by Seth Rogen,
yeah,
and Evan Goldberg. It was a Garth Ennis book. They've done Preacher,
yes,
and this would be the second of his work that they've adapted. And there's some crazy stuff on it. There's some really gruesome depictions of rape. Right out the gate.
First episode,
like sexual assault, rape, and that culture.
Yeah.
That is pretty relevant probably to today. I mean,
sure.
Almost in your face relevant. Just like,
very, very, very.
But all those things aside, there's kind of a lot of layers to this show. I mean,
a ton.
I enjoyed it. I liked the show a lot. I wouldn't necessarily personally, I know this is going to shock you, but I wouldn't rave about it. Like, it wasn't.
I would, only because it's so different.
It's different and it's shocking, and it can be hard to get through at times.
I didn't think it was hard to ever get through.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that each episode went by pretty quickly.
The pacing towards the middle, towards the last final, it's one of those shows that starts off really strong, and then I think it kind of peters out towards the end.
Okay. I can understand that, because
now it's only 8 episodes, which is great. If it was 12 episodes, there'd be an issue.
So that's why I think they did it correctly, is that it's only 8 episodes. Each one of them is an hour. A lot of these shows want to go 10, 12, 13 episodes, and you just shouldn't do that. It makes it too long, and you're drawing out the storyline. And in the middle, I do agree that they did draw out the storyline a little bit with a couple episodes there in the middle. But really, I don't know, at the end of the day, I feel like they told a pretty concise story, and it's all about Huey. Like, it's basically his story,
which is Dennis Quaid's son. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan.
That's their kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes so much sense now.
He looks like him. He looks like him. He's really good. He's good in this.
Oh, he's so good.
A lot of great actors. A lot of great acting in this in general. The girl who plays Starlight, great.
She's great.
Huey is great.
Billy Butcher.
He's the one that kind of can get on my nerves after a while.
He gets on your nerves, but I think it's on purpose.
Yeah, the guy that plays Mother's Milk is great.
Yeah, he's really good.
But the standout to me in this show is Frenchie.
Yeah, Frenchie is an amazing character.
An amazing character, an amazing actor, and he's given a lot to work with here. It's almost worth watching for him alone.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
And at first, I thought he was going to be a throwaway character when you first meet him.
He is not.
When you walk in and you just first meet him, and I was like, all right, we'll see this guy one episode and then continue on. No, sir.
Yeah.
Like, he is a main character. And I feel like Huey and him have a really good dynamic there.
They do.
And they work well together. It's a story about what Huey's going through ultimately. It just happens to be with superheroes involved. But gosh, I don't know. I think it is something that people need to watch.
I think people need to watch it because it's different and it's cool to support it. It wasn't my favorite show in the world. I mean, it wasn't.
I think it's better than Doom Patrol.
I don't think so.
I do.
I really don't. But it's set up. It has a great cliffhanger ending for season 2.
Sure. But I think the production and the
production value is obviously on a higher level.
The production, the suits, like everything about it is a higher level than Doom Patrol. It really is.
Yeah, production value wise, it's on a higher level. Story wise, no, I don't think so.
You don't?
No, and it really, honestly, for me, it started to drag a bit.
I mean, the story
towards the middle.
When you talk about Doom Patrol, the story is just trying to find a guy.
Yeah, but it's funny and it's layered and it's
There's no humor in The Boys. Basically, there's
a little, but not much.
Very, very minimal.
There
humor.
is, however, a scene in the beginning, couple episodes, where they are in a abandoned building trying to figure out how to kill one of the superheroes.
Yeah.
And Frenchie has a very long monologue about the first person he killed.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It is a great piece of acting. It's a great piece of writing. It's a great tension building.
The way
moment.
he acted it is what makes it a little more unsettling because you can tell that it's bothered him by the way he's speaking about it, but there's no facial expression to why it's that it has bothered him.
Yeah.
Like he's just so cold to the fact that this has happened, but he's explaining to you like I'll never forget that.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's maybe the unsettling or the weird thing in this is that there is no innocent character. And there's no good characters. I mean, there's no good guy or bad guy. Really.
And I feel like that's so real life.
And it's funny because they really take you on a ride with all the characters because they're the main characters, the boys, as you will say.
Yep.
They make them out to be good guys, and then they kind of flip the script on them, and then they kind of turn them into bad guys, and they kind of turn them back into good guys. And then the bad guys, being the superheroes, they start to slowly kind of turn into good guys, and then you kind of can see where they're coming from, and then you can kind of understand their position, and then they do something horrible, and then they're back. And, it's constantly evolving. You can't put a handle on the story tropes. You can't put a handle on storytelling, and maybe that's what for me.
And you think that's dragging?
Yeah, well, I think definitely there was a lot of filler in there.
I feel like that's what adds. I feel like that's what adds to the story to make it a little more a little more like I don't know, like attention grabbing because you can't put.
It's so funny because they'll make the most horrible character, and then 2 or 3 episodes later you're like starting to sympathize with them.
Yeah.
Like somehow they make you sympathize with the Deep later in that show after the horrible things he does at the beginning.
Yeah, kind of. I do feel like that character was a waste.
I mean, I think that was the attempt at humor. The attempt at basically poking fun at an Aquaman type character.
Yeah.
And it just had a hard time landing in a movie this serious in tone.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't care for his character. I don't feel like I needed him. I mean, he had to be there for a little bit of the storyline, but I don't know. At the end of the day, he really didn't do anything.
Here's what the goal of that character was, all right? He raped the girl in the beginning. So you hate him, right?
Yeah.
And then they take him from his position and then they beat him down, all right?
The whole show.
And then he gets raped.
Yeah.
And that moment is supposed to come full circle, but it doesn't.
No.
And it doesn't, and it feels disingenuous, and it feels like
really weird.
It's weird. It's odd. And I don't think that worked.
Well, I mean,
not everything worked in the show is my only point.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I feel, I mean, it's really weird because she's sticking her hands in his gills.
Well, yeah, that is weird.
And so this guy's got gills like where your rib cage is, and she sticks her hand in there, and he's like, "That hurts. Like, stop doing that." And she doesn't stop doing that. It's weird. It's really weird.
So that's The Boys.
That's The Boys.
I would say I wasn't as crazy about it as you, but it's still. I think it's worth watching. I definitely don't think it's something that everybody will be into.
You know,
that's one of those that like I don't think everybody will be into.
No, not at all. I don't feel like not very many people will be into that. You know when I knew you didn't care for this because I knew it right off the bat is because you said, "Yeah, I saw the first episode." Because I texted you and I said, make sure you watch The Boys before the next podcast.
Okay.
And you said, "Yeah, I saw the first episode." And immediately I was like, well, he doesn't care about it. He doesn't really like that.
No, I sat down and I binged it. I watched it nonstop.
Yeah. And what did it end up being? You didn't really care. You just wanted to hurt me, is what I'm saying. Like that you're doing this on purpose. I like it. Watch it. It is something super strange though. Like you're never going to see this again, and it will be very polarizing. And like I feel like you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
You know that it is what it is, but I feel like it's created that way.
Yeah, it's a good production value.
Oh yeah.
Not a lot of
Amazon can throw some cash.
Not a lot of like fighting. Surprisingly.
No, there's really none.
Kind of a heady show.
There's really no fighting. And I feel like that's appropriate, though, because a guy that has lasers that come out of his eyes and can do anything, do you really think there's much fight there?
Right.
Yeah. Like Superman fighting all these people. And like, oh, kryptonite's so powerful.
It wouldn't
happen.
There's a soul-crushing scene on a airplane that gets hijacked.
I don't like that.
It's kind of like a turning point in the show.
It really is.
There's a lot of very unsettling things in this show.
I really don't like the airplane part. I was like, that's when I was like, come on. Like I thought about fast forwarding it. I'm like, I'm going to fast forward this because this is ridiculous. Like I know what's going to happen. I just want to go.
Sinister.
Very bad stuff. I just don't understand. I don't get it. When he gave the reason as to why he can't fly outside, like,
oh, that makes sense.
But you can also try. Like, put your body out there.
He doesn't. The point is, he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't.
That's the point. You're missing the point.
No, I'm not. But I'm saying like you could absolutely try that.
Right.
But that's when you get the fact that I don't really care about any of this. Like,
right.
And then he turns it for political and promotion reasons.
Right.
Just crazy. Sick. So sick.
Okay.
Hey, I watched more stuff.
Oh, more stuff. I got more stuff too, so we got to keep rolling.
Okay,
here.
I watched.
We don't have that much time left.
Hour 31 we're at right now.
Yeah, but we have to do a big review.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Of what?
Spider-Man.
Oh, is that a movie that came out?
Yeah.
Well, I watched something else before that, though, and it was Shazam. I finally saw Shazam.
Oh, yeah, you finally saw Shazam.
I hadn't seen it since it came out, and I finally sat down and watched it, and I see what you had said originally, that it was somewhat startling and like scary
at
points,
definitely.
And I agree. There are like the 7
Deadly
sins are kind of scary, and Grady did not like the way they looked at first. Grant was oblivious to them, didn't really care. Grady really didn't like the way they looked at first, but overall he loved that movie. Grady loved the movie. And you can tell that no way. Has that been out the whole time?
Yeah.
Are you joking me?
No.
So that stinks.
Yeah. Oh, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll do it again at another time. So what Chris just saw, I'll say it on the podcast because you aren't going to be able to watch this one. There was no input audio to our switcher.
That's all right. We can take that video and overlay the audio from that audio. I'll just do it.
Can you do it on this?
No, I'll export the video file to my computer, put it in Premiere, and sync them up.
There you go, guys. Movie magic.
Movie magic.
Chris is going to have to do all of that
It's going
magic.
to be massive file sizes and ridiculousness.
It is.
I'll make it work.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so Shazam.
What a huge fuck up.
Yeah, that was something. I don't even know why it was unplugged.
Because when we were testing it out, we were unplugging it to listen to the audio back, and I guess I didn't plug it back in because I'm an idiot.
An hour and 35 minutes ago.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so Shazam, I did like the movie, but there's really nothing that stands out to me.
No.
From this thing.
No.
I didn't need it. It is. I feel like it's a good movie for like teens, like teeny bopper kids.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it can relate to them a little bit. Freddy is a good character. I think Freddy, like the foster kid that's Billy Batson's like brother.
Mm-hmm.
I think his character is amazing and really funny, and I liked him a lot. But all in all, Shazam was useless.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything.
Did you get my point that Billy Batson, you don't believe that he becomes Shazam? They're like two different people.
Because they're two different complete people. Like the way Shazam acts,
but they
is not
might
the same way.
be two different people. It's not really clear.
So in the comic books, Billy Batson no longer exists when
Right.
Shazam appears. So Shazam will act the way Shazam wants to act because he's a completely different person.
Right. But that's not how they set it up in the movie.
No. In the movie, Billy Batson turns into Shazam, but
like
only physically.
Right.
He physically turns into him. Mentally, he's still a 13-year-old or 14-year-old boy. That's not the way it is in the comic books. Like, Shazam is an alternate being that Billy Batson can control, whereas in the movie, Billy Batson is Shazam, and that's not the right way. Whatever. Either way, however they want to play it is fine to me. But I don't know. I just don't think it's that great.
Yeah. No, it was fine. Like I said, it was a fine movie.
And like I said, I'll probably watch it like another 5 or 6 times because Grady really, really, really enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah, loved
That's
it.
surprising.
He told me just tonight. He said, "Dad, I really like that Shazam." And I said, "Well, good, bud. Like, we can watch it whenever you want." But
what was his favorite part of the movie? Or favorite
I think
situation?
he thought it was really funny. He thought the whole movie was really funny, and he liked the goofy superhero aspect of it, I think.
Okay.
Like, of him trying to fly and falling around. And I don't know. I think that's what he enjoyed. But he dug it. Like, he was all about that movie. And I tried to get him to watch so many other superhero movies, but he liked Shazam.
Huh. Well, good for him.
Yeah. So there was that. Watched that one, and now we can get into the other one.
All right. No, because I got a ton more.
Oh, go for it.
Not really a ton more. Real quick. A couple things I saw that came out that I want to watch, so maybe we'll talk about. Did you see the pilot is out for Deadly Class?
No.
Okay, it is.
I was watching. I was reading that comic book. I read the first 2 volumes of that.
So what I noted, how I find that out is because I wanted to watch. Okay, here's what it was. I finished watching, and that's part of my what you're watching. I finished watching season 1 of Krypton.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
You
finished the
it
season.
all. How many episodes are there?
I think there's 10.
Oh, that ain't bad.
It's so good. It's great. I loved it.
Okay.
I loved
good.
it. I liked it more than The Boys.
Oh, why? That doesn't surprise me because it's a legitimate superhero movie rather than, or not movie, but legitimate superhero show rather than a take on
Kind of.
real-time superheroes.
Not really. There's not really any superheroes in it.
I mean, they all are, technically.
No, not really.
They're all from Krypton. They're all supermen.
No, they're not. They don't have a yellow sun. They have no superpowers.
Well, on their own, no?
No,
They're just like regular
normal
people? Really?
Yeah. There's like no superheroes in it, and they're fighting Brainiac, who's like this uncontrollable, unstoppable, like
Really?
super entity. Yeah, it's a really freaking awesome show that delves into every genre, really, and it's kind of political. It's kind of action, adventure, spy, thriller. It's a really, really good show. Highly recommend it. I liked it as much as it's up there. Like, I liked it better than Swamp Thing. I liked it maybe even better than Doom Patrol. I mean, I'd put it on that level.
Wow. All right.
So I wanted to watch the season 2 because that's out right now.
It is.
But I haven't been recording it, and my DirecTV doesn't work because there's a tree in front of it. So I download the Sci-Fi app because it's on
Wait,
Sci-Fi.
it's not on DC?
No. It's a Sci-Fi show. Now,
I know, but the first
season
season
1
is-
is on DC app.
Yeah.
That's where I watched it. But I
Yeah.
wanted to watch season 2, which is the current season. It's currently running right now.
Oh.
So I downloaded the Sci-Fi app because it's on Sci-Fi.
Okay.
And since I have DirecTV, I can just watch it on there. It's a really awesome app, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, there's tons of great stuff on Sci-Fi. I didn't realize
know
that
that.
Sci-Fi was, and I guess the reason why you get such good content from there is it's NBC Universal owns Sci-Fi.
Okay.
So NBC Universal is the company.
NBC.
And Universal, Studios. you know.
Yeah.
They also like own USA and
Yep.
a bunch of
I
other
knew that.
networks. So and on that Sci-Fi app, you can watch USA shows, sci-fi shows, any of the channels they own. They have like sections for. So I was going to check that out because there's a show that was on Sci-Fi, I believe, called The Expanse,
I've heard of it.
which had I think 3 seasons.
Wasn't that on Netflix?
It got canceled, had huge fan support. Apparently it's great. And Netflix bought the rights and
That's what I thought.
brought it back. And I don't even know if they've aired season 4 yet, but they've already committed to season 5.
Wow.
So I really wanted to start that show. But anyway, I'm going to check out season 2 of Krypton, which it appears, I mean, I guess I won't spoil it. There's a new big bad after Brainiac.
Okay, yeah, don't spoil it because I do want to watch that.
You should watch it. I mean,
I gotta catch up. Yeah,
well, now you've finished The Boys. You're caught up. You're good.
yeah. Well, I still haven't finished Stranger Things.
Oh, but on Sci-Fi is the pilot for Deadly Class, which apparently is a sci-fi show.
yeah, it will be.
Sci-Fi must rock.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think NBC's just got a lot of cash and
Well, I think
disperses
Universal's
things.
got a lot of cash.
Well, yeah, Universal does too.
Well, I don't know, but it's a very well-made show, Krypton. It's like a show that you're watching and you're like, I don't even know how this is on Sci-Fi Channel.
Really?
There was Sci-Fi the channel that
Amazes me.
that show Eureka was on? Because that was always a really good show. I love that show.
Like Eureka's Castle?
No, Eureka was a show about like a town in the United States that all these super geniuses lived in. They like invented things.
I don't know if I remember
This
that.
one guy was like the town sheriff of this town of super geniuses, and they had like a lab there. Oh, that was a great show, man. You should totally watch Eureka.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's done now. It ran for like 5 or 6 seasons, either on USA or Sci-Fi. I can't remember.
What do you remember Eureka's Castle?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I don't know what that
It's
is.
like a children's show.
Oh, no.
It was really good.
Oh, that was another thing I saw that Netflix, I think it's Netflix, is
Look it
bringing
up.
back the Dark Crystal
Yes.
with puppets.
Yeah.
But they spent like $200 million to make it.
Holy crap.
Like all the money.
I wonder if well, they'll have to use like the same type of like Muppets basically because that's what they are, is Muppets.
Yeah, I just don't know that spending all the money to make a Dark Crystal thing is the right
worth it.
play.
Yeah, I don't think
I mean, I
it's
like
worth
Dark Crystal, and I think it's got a fan base for sure.
Yeah, Labyrinth does, because that means the Labyrinth is coming next.
Yeah, but the fan base, I don't know how wide that fan base is. I mean, we're on the tail end of being really old enough. That was like an 80s thing.
I feel like there's more of a fan base for the Labyrinth than there is Dark Crystal.
I don't know about that. but-
I do, because of David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Dark Crystal was better.
I don't know. I like the Labyrinth.
Okay, Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jump. Magic jump. He steals babies.
So that was it. I just wanted to talk about the Sci-Fi app and Krypton.
And so the big one.
We saw it. Spoilers ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Spoilers, because I want
coming.
to talk about a lot of different
But
things.
guys, this movie's been out for over a month at this point.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man Far From Home. Jerry finally saw it.
Boom.
He stopped being derelict of his duties.
First thing I want to say about
And he
this.
derelict himself into
Spider-Man.
the theater. He derelict the floor of the theater.
Yeah, yes. I don't know what else to
I
say.
don't know.
I don't know.
Where
what to
did you
say
go
about
see
that.
it first off?
Joliet.
In a standard cinema?
I mean, none of them are standard anymore at Joliet.
Are they?
been
Have
there?
you? No, not since have they updated the seats and everything?
They all recline.
Oh, fully?
Yeah.
Every theater?
Yep.
Not every theater.
Everyone I've ever been to.
Okay.
Multiple.
So that's where I'm going again.
And they all have trays. like trays that swing out in front of you, and you can recline fully.
Electric recliners.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, they're great. And I watched with my feet up and popcorn, and it was great. What I want to say right off the bat is Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man that we've had, bar none.
Yeah, he's so good.
That little British kid is amazing.
That little British boy.
I don't think I can't do it. Like,
You just sounded like James Vanderbeek. I don't want your life. No. Tom Holland's like, that little British boy. All right.
All right. Tom Holland. That's not good. I can't do it.
He plays.
What?
Oh, what?
He's an amazing boy from Queens.
Yeah. He plays a great Spider-Man.
He's an incredible American.
Yeah.
And he's a very good Spider-Man, but I love the fact that they've tied him into Iron Man as much as they've had. And I love the fact in this movie, so how they build it up between him and Mysterio is that this kid is so desperate for like a father figure, and he had that in Iron Man. And now Iron Man's gone for this movie, right? And once again, he's like desperate for this father figure type person. And Mysterio all of a sudden comes in and like befriends him, and they start talking about what they're doing. And it's the only guy that he can talk about superhero stuff with at this point in time. He's on a trip. All he wants to do is be a student, be a kid, and do his thing. But yet he has this other aspect of his life that Nick Fury keeps forcing him to do at the time. And he's like, you're the only guy I can talk to. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where I'm at anymore. Iron Man's gone. Like, I just need somebody to be there for me. And Mysterio was there. Of course he falls into this trap of Mysterio's because he needed him at the moment.
Right.
And it, and it all plays out from there. But I just think it's really great that they have that, because I think that's missing from a lot of other Spider-Man movies. Like, you don't have that tie-in to Peter Parker. You don't have that like want to see Peter Parker like succeed. And yet you're watching him have this like moment of weakness because he needs like like I said, a father figure, and then it leads to something so much worse.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. No, it's and the way that they this was a kind of a debate in this movie, because they're kind of like, actually some people had a problem with the way they kind of are setting up Spider-Man as the next Iron Man.
They're not, though.
But they're not.
I do not think that.
I don't know how they necessarily got that, because that was kind of like the point of the movie.
And the movie in the beginning plays it that way, is like Tony Stark saying like, you're going to take these glasses that I've got and Edith, even though he's really not giving up anything, because it's like, what's Edith stand for? Even dead, I'm the something. Even dead, I'm still the man or something, or I'm the boss. And so he's giving it to Peter because he feels like he's the only one that can carry that on. But that doesn't mean he's Iron Man.
Well, I think people were more talking about the fact that it seems like Spider-Man's a lot more dependent on technology in this iteration of the character. Whereas...
I disagree again, though.
Well, they kind of self-corrected on that, because in the previous movie, they made it seem like he was really dependent on his AI.
Yeah.
And they never focused on his biggest superpower, which is his spider sense.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get at.
And this is the first time, I believe, I don't know if they really tackled his spider sense in Homecoming at all.
No, it was all the suit.
Yeah.
It was the suit.
So they kind of started working towards that. The Peter Tingle.
That's what I wanted you to bring up. Yeah.
And I think they did. I mean, they could have probably...
That's a dick joke. It is. It is. In Spider-Man, that's what that is.
They probably could have made that more clear, or shown it differently or better. I know that's kind of the big final fight scene. That's kind of how he wins, how he ends up defeating.
I'm glad they did that, though, is that they finally brought it in and said, like, hey, Spider-Man's being Spider-Man now. And he finally realizes it himself. And I think that's what people are missing.
Yeah.
Is that in in Homecoming and in Far From Home for the first, 2 acts of it, he didn't understand that power.
Yeah, I mean, he's like 15
He knew he
in the
had
first
it
movie, and I think he's 16 in this movie.
because Aunt May brings it up, and she's like, well, that one thing you have.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, I do have that, I think. Because he doesn't really understand it, but he has to rely on it because of the way Mysterio is doing things. Also, Mysterio. So in the comic books, Mysterio is obviously this special effects artist, right?
Yeah.
And in the movie, he is too. But what they've done differently, and the way I like how they set it up, because I don't feel like it works the way the comic book does it in a live action movie. Comic book has it as like he's a singular person. He's doing all of the special effects on his own, setting all of this up like he's just a master at what he's doing. It doesn't really work.
Way better in this live action.
Yeah, it doesn't really work
adaptation.
in real life. So in the movie, they have it as like he comes out and has this whole crew that's working with him. And they got a ton of like explanation and like how he does things. It's like, what do they call it? It's like
Well, they also got like
hero splaining or like superhero splaining, like explaining the powers of people and giving you all of this like exposition and filling you full of knowledge as well. Like they're giving you all of this exposition, but he's saying like, hey, Carol, thanks for doing this. Tom, thanks for doing this. Like you did a great job at that.
Right.
And he explains everybody's part in what he's been doing, and you get a ton of knowledge on how he
bring in
creates
these
stuff.
like side characters from past movies that you
Yeah.
wouldn't even have noticed, really.
Yeah.
And they're like shunned.
And all of these people have worked for Stark Industries.
Right.
So they worked for Tony Stark prior to this. And Mysterio, Quentin Beck, worked for Tony Stark as well. And they wrap it all together like that. Like that's what is driving him to be the person he is right now, because he didn't want to be in the shadow of Tony Stark.
Well, the other thing that really made work was the whole drone situation.
Yes.
And I don't know how you work the character now after seeing that without that.
Yep.
Because it does work. I mean, it's still a little unbelievable that it worked that well, but they show
sure.
it. They even go to the flashback to the Iron Man where they're like, oh, he debuted this technology
Yeah.
in a previous movie. Like the ability to go back based on what has already been written and shown and to plug that, none of this was planned.
This is incredible.
None of this was planned when they
Right.
did that Tony Stark thing. They wrote a whole movie and they included that in the technology in a future villain that they didn't even know they were going to do.
Yeah.
And they made it all work.
So how long do you think they've been planning that, though?
Can't be that long.
It's been years ago that they've been planning it, though, right?
I would. Yeah. I mean, this movie's probably been in the works for 2 years or more. But, they plugged a lot of stuff in. Like, there was the drone technology,
Yeah.
Well, that was part of this movie, I guess, because that was part of the Edith glasses.
The glasses were the main part.
But there was a guy that had made that drone technology, and they flash back to him. I
Yeah.
don't know if that was set up in a previous movie. The hologram stuff definitely was.
Yep.
But I think they just went back and grabbed that. I mean, they had to find a way to make Mysterio work. And it works. It's believable. And I think Jake Gyllenhaal nails it, man.
He does. And I liked Kevin Smith talked about it in his, is how you get to see Mysterio the way you see him in comic books, but they made it into real life to where Jake Gyllenhaal's in that suit. I don't know. They use it in like movies and stuff right now.
Yeah, like a motion capture
suit. So he's in a
mocap suit.
Yeah, he's in a mocap suit, but they still give him the dome. He's still inside of a dome in that mocap suit. So you still see him inside of...
Yeah, it's probably really hot in that dome.
I'm sure it is. But you still see him in that. And then when he's doing all of his tricks, it looks like he's in a suit. But he still has a person working on an actual suit that he stands in too.
Yeah.
Like a lady is literally like steaming his cape while he's trying to take over a city.
Right.
And I don't know. I think they did that so well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you could do it any better for a Mysterio storyline.
Yeah.
Without making it completely unbelievable. But that tied it into the real world to where it is somewhat believable.
Yeah, I think there was a lot answered with this too, this movie, and that was, is Mysterio going to be going forward as the big bad overarching villain, like the Loki that's setting everything forward? And I don't think so.
No, I think he might be involved.
He'll be involved. I believe
Somewhere down
the
the
great
road.
thing about Mysterio is everything that they've done in this movie can be undone because it could be completely fake.
Well, it could be. But here's the thing is like this whole movie is building up to one moment as an end credit scene.
Kind of.
How so? Like how is
Is
it
the
not?
movie building up to that moment? I don't think so. I mean, I think the movie works on its own as its own movie and is completely great and fun. And
But if you're looking at it as
I
the
think
start of phase 4 or the end of phase 3,
I don't think
and
the
end of phase
movie
4,
is working up to the end credit. I think that end credit stands on its own as setting up the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't think that movie, I wouldn't confuse the two issues. I don't think that movie is setting up the post-credit scene.
you get none of that post-credit scene without the rest of the movie, though.
I mean,
Like,
without
none of that works without it.
Why do you say that?
Because none of it works without the rest of the movie.
Okay, spoilers ahead. Explain that to me. Why?
So you can't just have somebody yell out like who Spider-Man is and Peter Parker's Spider-Man without the whole rest of the movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. Gotcha. I'm thinking of the different post-credit scene.
Oh no, not that one.
Okay.
Like the first
Yeah.
post-credit scene, like the mid-credit scene, I guess you'd call
okay.
it. The whole movie is building up to this mid-credit scene, which is the basis of the phase 4 for Spider-Man.
Correct. No doubt.
All of it's building up to that.
In an amazing reveal, which is mind-blowing.
And at first,
How they keep the same character of J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh yeah, wasn't even thinking about that. And then they spin him off as like a what's that guy that Joe Rogan,
like InfoWars, Alex Jones type figure.
Alex Jones. That's what he is like an Alex Jones type figure where he's like a internet presence rather than working for a newspaper.
Right. It's like new media.
And that's incredible.
Yeah.
So apparently Peter Parker's not going to work for the Daily Planet then, right?
No, apparently not.
So I don't know what he's going to do from there on out, but that's really great that they brought J.K. Simmons back in for.
Yeah, it's
J.
great.
Jonah Jameson.
So what is the implications of this movie as far as setting up the multiverse? Because they make that statement early in the movie.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm assuming Mysterio's lying about the multiverse thing. So is that real in the movie or not?
100% it's real because we just had the reveal of Marvel's movies and Doctor Strange has the movie's called The Multiverse.
So
like
was Doctor Strange or was Jake Gyllenhaal from a different Earth?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because he says he is, but
they're setting up a multiverse because it is true because Doctor Strange is going to be involved with the multiverse.
So if he's not from another Earth, which I would assume he isn't.
What's it called? The Madness or Multiverse Madness?
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that Mysterio in this movie is not from another Earth. It doesn't appear that he is. He says he is.
No, he's not because he's been working for Tony Stark.
Yeah. So how does he know about the multiverse to make that story up?
I don't know. That part I don't fully grasp.
I don't grasp it either. It might be a plot hole. Could be.
Maybe it is, but it isn't because it is true that there is a multiverse. He could be tied into other people though that we don't know about.
Yeah.
You know, like he could be tied in and working with other villains that we aren't quite.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Haven't been revealed to us yet.
I don't think that he's dead.
No, he's not. It was proven in that. I mean, it was proven in the video that he wasn't dead.
It is?
Well, yeah, because he's still videotaping himself after Spider-Man leaves.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he sends that out after. But doesn't he send it out after Spider-Man leaves?
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't really clear.
No, it wasn't. But it's a slap in the face when you think the whole movie's basically over. Spider-Man's swinging around with MJ, and
she's just great.
I have a point right here that says Zendaya is a national treasure.
Yeah, she's great, man. I wasn't sold on her in the first movie.
I wasn't either, but the way they did her in this movie is amazing. How she's super nerdy, awkward, and just she's like a teenage girl.
They're both very awkward, and it works. It could be too much if it was did wrong, but it's done right. It could be too much if it was the wrong actors, but it was.
That's what I was going to say. The
right.
casting is done so well with those two people, and the way they work together and their dynamic in the movie is awesome. I love the fact that you get to see Peter Parker as a student and he like really could care less about being Spider-Man in this movie. And there isn't a ton of Spider-Man in it. There's so much more Tom Holland in this movie than there was previously.
The best part about this movie for me is they find a way to have those big, generic, action-y villains that you need to do the big set-piece fights.
Yeah.
But that you always roll your eyes at.
Yeah.
You know, the big, the Sandman from Spider-Man 3.
Which was cool.
Doomsday from Batman versus Superman.
Not cool.
The big fighting scene, brutish villains. They find a way to do that.
Yeah.
But to spin it to where they're not real and it's super interesting and it's layered and the Mysterio, and that's the Mysterio of it all.
Yeah.
And that's why that's a great character, but it's a great way to create big action set pieces that don't feel contrived or, just over the top superhero-y.
Yes. It wasn't. I mean, it was over the top at the time. And I thought it was kind of weird that if it is all a hologram, how did Tom Holland get so wet from the one water guy?
I don't know. I'm assuming the drones are like
spraying
up water. I don't know.
I know. That's the only thing you could assume.
There's you can't think too much into it.
Well, I'm going to analyze it down to the core.
Great thing I'm sure there's like tons of little Easter eggs that I haven't looked up and we've probably missed, but when he's descending Spider-Man kind of into madness of hallucinations.
Holy
It's
smokes.
great, man. It's great.
The way they played that whole thing is amazing, and that's what sets up his whole spider sense.
Yeah.
That's how he realizes like I have to tap into this,
which is exactly what happens in the comics.
And you would know this. I don't know much
exactly what happens in the animated series from the 90s. That's kind of how he battles Mysterio.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Because that's his only real weapon against it,
It's the only way you can when you're seeing something that looks real to you, but is, obviously fake, but you don't know that. You don't know what reality is at that point. And he has that ability of spider sense to overcome it.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is that finally at the end, you finally get to see Spider-Man be Spider-Man at the end of that movie and actually have that like super strength and spider sense to like kick some ass. And I loved it. I loved that.
It's great. And then they throw on another post-credit scene that's totally mind fucks you.
Yeah. So this part, Nick Fury wasn't really in the movie.
Right.
Come to find out. And it was the Skrulls.
Yeah.
The husband and wife Skrulls from Captain Marvel.
From Captain Marvel.
If you haven't seen Captain Marvel, you're going to need to watch it to understand who these people are.
Just that scene, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that's what's setting up the future of the MCU, I believe. That and the final post-credit scene that shows Nick Fury on the ship
with the Skrulls.
With the Skrulls.
Yeah, he's like on vacation, but he's really on a ship with the Skrulls. But so what do you think that means? Like, what are they doing?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
What's the purpose of having the Skrulls as Nick Fury at that point in time? Just to give him a break? Or?
To be revealed, I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't know. There's a bit of a plot hole there with that in the movie because so Happy calls him on the phone and gives Nick Fury this like secret message, right? Like he says some things on a phone that really only Nick Fury should know that this is a secret message. How do the Skrulls know that this is a secret message?
I think they must be communicating with Nick Fury on the ship.
All at the same time?
They must
So
be.
why is Nick Fury just not there?
I don't know.
Like, why don't you just put Nick Fury there then and leave the Skrulls on their own ship? That's the part that I just didn't understand. And this is not a big deal. I'm making it more of a deal than it should be, but I feel like that is a bit of a plot hole where they shouldn't have known that, but they did. And Nick Fury didn't play a big role in this anyways.
Right.
But he did get the point of the message because they sent the lady up top with the rocket launcher to shoot the drone and whatnot. So they understood the message.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was weird.
Interesting. There was a quick little reference. I don't know if people would get it, but when Nick Fury's on that ship and he's like on a beach, but it's not a beach. It reminds me of, and probably on purpose, from the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's a thing with Agent Coulson where after he's killed in the Avengers, he goes to Tahiti. All right. And Tahiti is like, I mean, he thinks he's in Tahiti, but it's like a code word that he finds out later that basically, essentially, he's what do they call it when he's like a body double? Like they transfer his consciousness to another body.
Oh, geez.
And they set up that Nick Fury also, I believe, and this has been done in the comics over and over again. But Nick Fury at times is like a body double.
It's like a replicant.
Yeah. Yeah, they set that up, and they do that all in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't remember the whole details of all of it, but the point is, he thinks he's in Tahiti, but Tahiti's like a code word.
Yeah.
And they basically transfer his consciousness into another body, and he finds out that he did die.
Okay, because that was always a question of mine. Is like, he died, so why is he still in that show?
I don't remember what happens exactly, because there's some infusion with some alien blood, like some Kree blood, and like Deathlock is in the show, and there's a lot going on in that show.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's canceled. It's a great show.
It is canceled.
But anyway, so yeah, Spider-Man, great cast, phenomenal.
And so prior to Peter Parker being outed by Mysterio at the very end of the movie, MJ figures it out.
Yeah.
And I love the dialogue that she has.
But not really, but kind of.
Yeah, that's what I love the dialogue that she has when she's like, well, you're obviously Spider-Man. And then the only reason he ends up telling her, like, yes, I am, is because she has, like, this projector of Mysterio's, and it projects him up in the air, and he's like, oh, crap, like, I've got to go. He's like, yes. He's like, you're right, I am Spider-Man. You can't tell anybody, like, but I really have to go because this is super important. Like, we're in the middle of something. You're right. And she's like, so, like, this is the only reason you were following me around and whatnot. But she says, like, I was like 67% sure that you were Spider-Man. But I just thought that was really funny and clever that they did it that way, where she comes out super positive that, like, absolutely, you're Spider-Man. I figured this out. And then later she's like, well, I was like 67% sure, but you just proved it. So thanks. It's incredible writing, and the casting's phenomenal. Like, the whole movie
it's fun.
Is super, super fun.
Yeah. There's points at which it's kind of annoying, like how he doesn't want to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like over and over again. He's just like, but you're Spider-Man, dude. Just like want to be Spider-Man.
I know, but there is the other aspect of it. The only part that I thought was annoying is that it was basically the same as Homecoming as the way of, like, going on a field trip.
Yeah.
Because they went to Washington, in Homecoming, and then he was.
And that kind of plays into this movie too.
It does, and he doesn't want to be found out because of that.
Yeah.
Because he keeps disappearing, but
it's
forced into it because of the whole Nick Fury thing.
At times, it's hard to believe too that he's 16 years old.
Yeah.
That's difficult at times to believe.
It is. And
the other kids, I believe, he's hard to believe.
Yes.
Maybe it's because he's a 25-year-old man.
Right. Could be.
I don't know how old he actually is, but is he 25? I don't know.
I don't know either. He's got to be in his 20s. But he I don't know. He plays a teenager really well.
He does.
But I do understand
he's 23. Okay.
I do understand the fact that he wants to try to be a kid after, because this is all taking place after Endgame.
Right.
Wouldn't you want to live Like to live your regular life as a kid after that whole shit show just happened.
Yeah.
And you know it and you remember it. And in their world, there has been people that were dead for 5 years and now have just came back.
Right. And that's a big point in the show too.
And they're trying to figure that all out.
Yeah.
Like everybody's still trying to live normal when other people are 5 years older than them that they were in school with
little
before.
Kids. Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a weird dynamic there. So I can understand where he doesn't want to be Spider-Man, but it is annoying to the fact that, like, well, dude, you are, though.
Right.
You are Spider-Man. Do it. Like, do your job.
But a lot of great humor. That's the best part about it. Great tone. Fun movie.
Yeah.
Smart.
It's very, very good. It's a perfect way to end, like, Phase 3.
It doesn't feel like
it doesn't necessarily
it's a part of that.
It does only because it ties in Endgame with it.
I guess
so much.
I
just
think it
through
feels
Tony
more.
Stark.
It feels more than an end or an epilogue. It feels like a transition.
Exactly.
And
that's what it is.
But it is. But they've said that like it's an epilogue, but it doesn't feel like an epilogue. It feels like a transition.
It's 100%.
These Spider-Man movies don't really feel like they're the same as the other Marvel movies, and
they don't. I agree with you. They don't feel the same as the Marvel movies, but is that by design? You think?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
So anyway, we're way over.
Yeah, that's all I got. We're at 2 hours and 10 minutes, and that's our show, basically.
So, first video live podcast, which I've totally screwed up. You may never see. And I've spent this whole time obsessing over trying to freaking run this stupid thing, and I screwed it up.
Actually, I think you did a really good job of running the screens over there, because you weren't super, like, obsessed with staring at that screen.
No, it's a little distracting. But I just put up on the screen our Instagram at Snarf Comics, our Facebook at Snarf Comics.
Yep. It's all Snarf Comics, man.
YouTube.com/Snarf Comics and Twitter. We're on all of them.
I think we could be a weekend show at home if you guys want to watch us at home on YouTube now. If you want us more as a weekday, like, commute type show, listen to us on the podcast. If you want to show your family, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you wanted to show your family that are over the age of 16, watch us on the weekend on YouTube.
And if you want to support us, it's really easy. All you have to do is subscribe and leave a review and follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
On all those platforms, and be engaged.
Please.
Let us know what
engagement.
you think.
We're getting more and more engagement. I just had another person today.
Tons of engagement.
I had another person today that wants to be involved with the show, wants to be on it.
Oh, who's that?
So we'll talk about it.
This one also, you'll notice on the bottom right, there's a little logo for Switcher Studio, which is the software we're using. We're still in the trial period, so let us know what you like, don't like about the video that we've been doing, and what you'd like to see more of. And there's tons more we can do with it, with graphics and visuals. I don't know how much we'll actually be able to do because it's kind of hard to do while we're doing the show without a dedicated producer.
Once Michael's done with his strep throat.
Yeah, when Michael gets back in the studio, maybe he can help us out a little bit better.
Yeah,
but
I think so. So, for this episode,
for Snarf-Talk this week, I've been Chris.
I'm Jerry.
See ya.
See you later.